madness. This is
Jane Bond art.
Okay, hello. Today we drew Yusuke Murata from One Punch Man. So, how to draw perspective like in Yusuke Murata art. And I seen this one. It's so cool, long time ago, and I didn't know who is artist. So then recently I finally find out. Just look at this. And it's a great example of why you should draw freehand your perspective, because this stuff you will struggle trying to achieve it with like digital tools, or it's like, okay, let's see, for example here, yeah, it's clearly like this one. Most likely it's been a ruler here, right? So it's fine to use ruler when you want to achieve this kind of razor blade sharp edge, super straight edges, right? But also you should be able just to control your hand enough to make it like look straight, you know, so, and understand how to draw all the stuff freehand. Так. So here, let's see, think how to compose it. I will like separate them in the different pictures. Okay, let's do it like this. So for example, how to make breakdowns, how to make studies, I make like different format. So I will redraw them in a different type of picture frame. So it's just make it even more clear that when you study, when you copy, you need to change. You need to change a lot. Так, voice dark. It's weird. Wait a second. Let me fix here this lightness. What? Oh. This looks better. Don't like too dark. Так. So, and also in case if you first time on this channel, like a very brief introduction here. So I teach here perspective mainly for comic book artists, illustrators in general, but it can be applied for anyone who just want to understand finally how perspective works, right? So, and I talk every time about importance of understanding these main principles, like 3D space perspective is about 3D, right? About 3 dimensions. These 3 dimensions, it's 3 axes, 3 system of coordinates. This vertical, it's a y-axis, depth, it's a z-axis, and width, it's a x-axis. That's also exists in the form of a box. It can be cube or any random box, because box have this set of vertical edges, set of depth edges, set of width edges, right? So it's like three set of lines, like 3 set of parallel lines, and the same 3 set of parallel lines. This is what we call perspective grid, right? So it's like width, h, and a depth. So this is a core of a perspective. This is what you need to have like very clear idea of it. It's very easy. It's like a riding bicycle. You just spend some time to comprehend it, because it's kind of very new idea for you. If you don't know it, you need to adjust your brain for it. But then you will never forget it, and you will always understand how it works. And then from this point, it will be just about adjustment and learning some specific tricks. Because like every specific perspective case, like how to draw bicycle, motorcycle, people, dogs, birds, airplanes, buildings, streets, rural landscapes, they all, in general, like mostly, like first of all, they based on this idea of 3 dimensions. And once you understand how to work with it, how to bend it, how to turn it around, then it's no problem anymore for you. It's just like it's like speaking a language fluently, but then you just learn more words, more some specific vocabulary, and some specific techniques if you want to be like a really good narrator or like storyteller or something then. So, and here what we see, hello Alex Rodriguez. Yeah. What we see here, right? It's boxes. It's buildings as boxes within perspective grid. So let's say these 2 boxes first. Okay, let's maybe even we'll draw here. So you notice this thing, it's move in a z-axis. It's showing us this z-axis in a perspective grid. Then also we can look for lines on the buildings. It's they're parallel to this direction. It's all parallel z-axis. And then I can like double check with this building, and then other building here, right? So looking for these clues, and then I say like, okay, looks like these speed lines, they also align with perspective grid. So here we have one set of lines from this perspective grid, Z, right? Then we have 2 more set of lines. We have this X, we can see it from building. So these are width lines which represent width X. And then we look for clues which show us vertical. So this building definitely standing, is not fallen yet, so it gives us knowledge like of what is the vertical lines in this image. So, and we see it's kind of like slight 3-point perspective. Or this building is fallen. No, it's standing. Anyway, so it's kind of like it might be like slight convergence, or there's just straight vertical. Here is in a small range kind of it. But anyway, so and this already, so this is our X, Y, and Z. This is our perspective grid. So just notice how everything here is aligned within this. So, and as I say, we have this space and we have boxes, right? So it's already been obvious how these boxes built in this perspective grid. Hello, Coltimon. They built me in this perspective grid, and only also feature of this box, now it have like radiating lines, which is like bent inside, like making ditch inside this building. So let's say this one, right? So it's like we have a box, and then it's like if this is box x-axis on a box, right? This x-axis. But then because there has been like collapse, this in the center will be like certain distance when is break in. And then, so what we have, this kind of basic operation, like you can see in a Scott Robertson book and whatever. So you find like when it's begin, kind of, let's say it's begin here, right? So here it was going normally parallel, and then here it will go inside like this. And you can draw like ellipse here. So now this it's a new construction for the stuff, so I can draw how new widths will look following this ditch. And I can draw also vertical. So it's kind of like one of basic Boolean operations in perspective. Here I just give you this brief idea just to show like what Murata is doing here, what is structure of it. And then over it, like you have this bent surface, bent net, right? So it's make it easier to draw these radiating lines. So you can draw like this, let's say. So it's like a bent perspective grid. So we have here this bend, here this bend. So what will happen in the middle between them, kind of, right? So then the same go between and here between, then here between and here between lines. Kind of this. And you can subdivide it any more times. Let me redraw it in a pencil, maybe. Yeah, so here is not much important how it's clear on the reference. I just want to, yeah, and the reference here is not so prominent, right? But I want to show you construction of it, like structurally how it works, because anyway, like in this particular place, maybe it's not so prominent, but he clearly know mechanic and perspective of this stuff. So here I draw in pencil again, so give you idea, because I break down his drawing, his perspective, his structure, and explain you how you can achieve it. Right, so here we have this like standard box, like I already say, we have set of vertical y-axis, then there is set of x-axis, horizontal widths, right? And then what we do, we say like, okay, because there is like some, I don't read this chapter yet, but probably there is like some dude, he hit this building, like he been crushed here, so he break it inside, make this gap. So I can choose like how far, right? Like how many centimeters or meters it's break in. So, and I choose like where, how big this hole will be. And I will say like, let's do it here like this, right? It's don't need to be symmetrical. It's just like I draw my own pattern here. So I say, okay, here we have depth. Then I draw like cross section. So what is cross section? Is like, let's say we have apple, right? So if you kind of slice it in half horizontally, so this will be like a cross section, like this. You slice it through. So then you can disconnect this bottom part from top part. Right, so this is a cross section. So here I draw this section, so it shows me now how bent x axis. So now the surface is bent. But then I also have it vertically. So I have like when there is normal, and then now it's going to this ditch, right? So I have like horizontal and vertical cross section. So it's like in the apple, I can cut like this vertically, right? I can cut it vertically. So here now we have these two cross sections. Then I can show on a surface like when like radius of this ditch, right? Radius of this hole. And now it's like it's already look like it, right? But I might want to have more structural lines to see better like surface of this bent area. So what should I do? Same thing, I just can like add more points like this and build more cross sections. And how I do it is like these basic techniques. So like this, you see, it's a Z direction, parallel to this line, the Z axis. So from this point I draw parallel to Z, it intersect other side of this cross section. And again, I can do like vertical cut. So this is not like for very beginners. You already need to have some general idea. I just don't want to spend 1 hour to explain. It's like for total beginners. So you should already understand what I'm showing you. I just show you like particular application of this technique. You already seen it in a Scott Robertson book or some other tutorials. I will do also a series about Boolean operations, and I also will talk about this, like how to make section cuts of different objects. So same here, let's make a cross section here. And also think here is like you don't need always be super like perfect with this cuts. You don't need always like measure every this point. At certain level, you will just have a very good vision of it, and you will make these cuts in your mind. So you can just like, like you have box, you say like, okay, here will be ditch. So you can draw all these sections, just eyeballing them. And it will be like not super accurate, but it will works for you. You will more focus on like artistic composition kind of part of work instead of spend so much time for draftsmanship of it. But for practice, yeah, it's important to have ability to draw it properly, and also, yeah, so you just need to be able to draw it properly, because this will be like a actual sign of your understanding. Because for us as artists, like you only can say you understand when you know when you can draw it, right? So make sure, if you want to have certain skill, make sure you really can draw it in a like kind of practice scenario, in some kind of training study case. So then you will be able to kind of fluently come up with it in your fluent drawing, like Daniel Warren Johnson's. When he is like drawing freehand stuff, he drawn a lot of perspective, like very casually, because he did practice before. It's all like evidence of previous work, previous practice. So now when we have this ditch, yeah, like I say, it's like same way like I show all its drawing of perspective grids. Once you have these two opposing lines, you can draw in between, and then you can keep subdivided in between like this, right? So you can draw this radiating lines. So, and again, I just show you like all of them, but it's not necessary to draw all of them. You will just see it like a Neo or Terminator. You'll just see all these lines you want, just like to like. So, and you can keep subdividing it. So it's same principle like you're building perspective grid. So perspective grid is not only some basic like 1 point, 2 point perspective. It's just any space. And if this, for example, this space, it looks small for us, but for this guy here, like a small guy flying here, maybe this Saitama One Punch guy, right? He flying here, and here other guy like just crush on this, like, oh. For them, it's a big space. So for them, this perspective grid describes space. Okay. So, and now I see like it's a one element of this drawing, right? Other element is very standard. It's just like 2 point perspective grid. It's, you watch my video about camera angles. This is like a drone view or bird view. And we don't have horizon line here, so it's like x-axis going like this. Kind of like this, so I can establish this perspective grid. Then y-axis vertical lines will be like this, and z-axis like this. Let's do. So you see, I'm not like copying all this. I build my version of it, just close for certain amount. I don't even try to make it super close. And then what elements I have? I have this like energy special effect, which is parallel to my z-axis, right? So here seems it's like being punch made in this area with this splash. Then we have this like a smoke, and then here this guy hit building. So let's say building will be here. So just you see, just place general elements of composition very roughly without like making it very clean and stuff. So and then other element for to make this situation have this narrative, right? Because this narrative is like this building being standing here, this like foundation of this building. So when he punched him here, he punched building or he punched someone, I don't know. So initially building was here, so it's foundation on the ground. Then now it's flying here, and it's have this ditch kind of hole in it, and it have this like pieces of like rocks and some like, and then we have speed lines here, some buildings on the background. So you see, I make study, I make kind of copy, but I'm not copy lines, I copy structure, and I even not copy it, I analyze structure, I analyze composition, and then I recreate it. So for me, for my brain, it feels like I draw it myself. It's like my own drawing for my brain, right? So of course it's different from like developing your own idea from zero, but it's really like one of big part of process, like when you build this like step by step perspective grid composition, and you make sure every element is clear, right? You want to show, okay, this is foundation, this is building and stuff like this. So let's do like some sound to do. Okay, we'll be like do some English sound effect. So consider it something like it's very essential work for every artist. If you want to be artist, you want it to be artist because you've seen other artworks, right? So it makes sense to look closer for artworks that influence you, because they contain all you want to make, kind of, right? So kind of subconsciously you have this desire to be artist like your favorite artist. Only difference is like eventually you kind of create certain mix of different artists together. You actually will not follow only one artist. Eventually you kind of have like 5 favorite artists, or maybe even 10 favorite artists. So you borrow one thing from one artist, other thing from other artist. So being artist is like this. It's always starts from borrowing, from understanding language, from watching other works. It's like if you like your children, right? You learn to speak You learn language from watching and listening people around you. You kind of start to imitating their language. It's not like you're like, oh, I create my own language. No, this will be weird, right? Like you create your own language and nobody understand what the hell you're talking about, right? So here's some. Some floor plan, control different rooms. Plan, debris. So I will do a couple more videos with Murata. I really love his work now. It's so cool. So here's some speed lines. Trying to use side and here's some. So there is two way, and you need to do both. Like I believe it's like help to do both of ways. One way is like when you do like this, like you're redrawing your favorite work. So you see, I am kind of study application of perspective, and I study this visual language, how he drawing these special effects. And second way how to learn from your favorite work is just kind of like when you draw similar situation, you can have this example of this work near you, so you can like check how to draw certain details. I mean, it's like intuitively everybody doing it. anyway, right? Yeah. So, okay, and here we have shadow. This is shadow of this blind building. It's just like what I'm mentioning all the time. What I see is not often been told. It's that way how to get through this gap of when you study perspective, you read some book and like, oh yeah, okay, now I know perspective and stuff, but how to use it, like how to draw some crazy picture with this perspective knowledge. There is this gap, like huge gap between this theory and actual application. And to fill this gap, you make perspective analysis of your favorite works. You just do it like this. You like see which kind of perspective principles being applied by artist when he been drawing this picture. So you can like put it in a Photoshop under layer and draw over it. But I think best for memory, to give you like really good memory of this, is when you redraw it. So you learn it, you look at it, like you try maybe like draw over it, looking for perspective grid, looking for all this like cross section cuts. But then when you redraw it, it's really, your brain will really remember it now after that. It's kind of became your personal experience. Some ways. Something here. So in here, like I showed you before, like this, like levels on a building, these windows, right? It's x-axis. So here it goes this way. Here it's z-axis goes this way. And here, like, we have this gap. So let me do it here like this. I'll have bigger. So put this shadow. Shadow here. Shadow for debris. So like gray color speed lines here. Let's make this gray one. Так. This one. So they start collapsing. So here you see is just like buildings lost their firm structure and they start like um, collapsing and bent like a bread, right? So it's like we have this like breadcrumbs and it's bent, they bend a little bit. But it still is kind of just like you bend this XYZ. And again, you see, so this one is again like bird view. You see, say here will be the axis will be like this. So I little rotate because it's vertical. And X, let's be like this. X axis. And Y axis, vertical lines. P like this. Or I can like first I even can draw this three building like this. With don't make them like box yet. Just draw like a three clouds kind of you see like this, and then I can just add this edges following perspective grid like this. Hop, 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 hop. Then next one. Hop, hop. Just following direction of lines in the perspective grid. I convert this bubbles into boxes. Hop, hop. So it's just like a trick of composition like start from more simple forms, from more general shapes, and then like gradually build up. Don't rush to make details and make everything perfect from beginning. Like start to kind of like clarifying them. So here you see like one a main element here. It's these three buildings. Then we have speed lines which follow this z-axis in the perspective grid, right? Then again, here was some foundation over probably this building. But I have this small image, so cannot see much small details. But just let's little mention it. And a small debris here. Then we have this like special effects. Oh. So you see how I build up from general to particular. And also it's like building 3D model, right? Like if you watch some tutorials about like building 3D models, they always start from big chunks and then clarifying them, kind of revealing more and more nuances. And this is more fun this way. So we have here. Then like can draw like this collapsed walls. So I can start draw with ink already, but I want to make maybe some like define this debris to create like a rhythm or pattern of this debris. So kind of like for better composition, I still use pencil to define these details. It's like I'm pretending like I don't see reference and I just want to make my own buildings with destruction on their walls. Like telling myself as like, okay, this how I will draw this similar kind of scene. So here's some. Here's some fly here and there. So it's like smaller details of composition. I'm not chasing similarity, I chasing composition. And here's some effects on the ground. Okay, well, from here can make details. So in this, I can do like some wobble on the buildings. I can do it with pencil if I need, if I want, or I can do it with the ink. So I already have established all these elements, everything I need for support. So now I have this like foundation for ink drawing. So I will feel like in control. It's like I have enough information to just play around with ink. So this kind of approach of iterations, right? Like when each previous step make next step more efficient, kind of you have more control on the more control on the next step. Same here, we have this ditch. So it's not like I don't like to draw every detail in a pencil, so it should be something I will add with ink. So main goal with a pencil stage is to clarify everything, so I will know what to draw when I will draw with ink, and I will not make like major mistakes. And it's like individual for every artist, like how much stuff he want to draw in a pencil. But still, I mean, just for time safety, I don't like to make the same work 2 times, and it's boring, and it's also take too much time, when you draw all details in pencil and then you need to draw ink over it. That's too much. I kind of start reading One Punch Man. Really cool stuff. Before I didn't read it. I really like character. Very cool. So here and there some flying debris. Letters in perspective. Interesting. Yeah, I have like problem with letters in general. I should do some practice of lettering. Because like I like a idea of hand written texts. It's really important. I think like when like every element of your picture is being made by your hand, I think it's essential. It's really different because like in a comic book, letters it's kind of essential element of composition, and just make them digital. It's really kills vibe. So yes, like I was invited artist Erwin Papa. He writes characters in his comic books. himself. That's very cool. And it's funny, like in the it's One Punch Man. It's like Luther Strode, but without all this gruesome gore. Cause I like first chapters of Luther Strode when it was like about just a guy exercising and became very strong. But then story gets too weird, like kind of make me stomach sick, kind of. But yeah, One Punch Man, it's totally it's fun and just two characters like this main character, all these vibes. It's fantastic. Like there was like a scene when he fight with some monster, and this monster is like a series of super mega punches, and he's like punching this uh, guy, main hero. This guy standing is like, okay, and he replied like series of average punches, and it's like dun 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 dun, and this monster he just like became a smash like just grinded by series of average punches. So here, yeah, so here we also can see like this roof surface. It's like starts collapsing like a drapery, like a closing. So when it's squeezed this way, it's like closing is a soft matter, right? It's a more flexible matter. This one, because it's concrete, so it's make like a cracks, but it also creates folds. So he make here this like folds. I always can see in the manga. And they're also like waves, these folds like waves on the water. So like ripples, which make them like, let's say, one ripple go here, and then between, like around this one ripple, we have two other ripples, like a bricks in the wall, right? So like this, like this, like this. Kind of this way. So it's like, because it's squeezed this way. So that's what happened here. You see these wrinkles. And this also, like I have tutorial for channel members about drawing closing, drawing folds. There is same as like basic types of folds. You need to understand like mechanics of how folds is forming, and then you can just use them. You can see them, recognize this standard faults in different cases. Yeah. I want also kind of became a punchline man to to say one line. Or draw like one image. So for me, I have this idea. I was experiment with drawing my comic, like different kind of my secret comic books, where I just experiment drawing different scenes. And I like idea of I have my own theory kind of comic book, how it should be drawn according to our contemporary situation, right? So I think like good comic book, it should be like perfect in every scale. So we have like a spread, right? So spread is like scene, is like already like a bit of story when something really happened and something changed. And so there is like hook in the beginning and there is a cliffhanger in the end of a spread. Then there is a page in case if somebody watch your comic book page by page, not like spread by spread. So each page also should have like hook and cliffhanger on the page, like just kind of smaller scale. And then it's frame, right? Like one frame. And so one page should be like have like hook cliffhanger, and also one page should be like a meme in a comic book form. And then one frame in a page, each frame should be like a meme. So just this kind of like our reality we're living right now. So when you do this way, then it's absolutely masterpiece, because it's like you create so much potential for your comic book to become like torn apart and became viral and iconic and stuff, right? Because like you make like every frame potentially um like being like have this meme uh meme energy, so each frame is a meme with the potential to become viral. Not mention story. Yeah. So yeah, in a full book, full chapter, or like whole your series of your comic book is all should have a good story, all this drama and stuff, character arcs, but same in a smaller scale, on a scale of a frame. All should be charged, like everything should be charged. Like, like when I watch movies, right? Like I can tell, like from a first couple frames, I can say is this good movie or not. You just watch like first seconds and you say like, okay, like your eyes are like very happy. It's like, I love what I'm just looking right now. That is something interesting. And then you can say when it's not so good quality work because there's so much sloppiness in it. Because like real, like great works, they're like, oh, like, I don't know, elaborated in every detail. They're like so well elaborated, like a Godfather, Jurassic Park #1. Yeah, just like compare like first Jurassic Park and Jurassic Park #3, 4, and whatever, right? They're so shallow and like empty. Kind of, there's so many gaps and emptiness. And there's also like a very cool series called Offer or The Offer, something like this, about creation of a Godfather movie. Very, very cool. So it's also like shows about how much work is done, how much like every nuance being like thought through, every small nuance, every detail. So it's like every second on a screen being like processed. It's being is some creative decision. Like every second is a result of creative decision. Mm. And if there is like lucky accident, it's lucky accident not because like you was just like, oh wow, let's just open camera kind of stuff. No, it's all lucky accidents is something like you already have so much skill and effort and background, but then result happen it's just something like even more on top of your effort. So this is kind of lucky accident, you know. It's not like you're total noob and you lucky you make masterpiece by lucky accident. No, no, not like this, never. So and here's this ditch. It's like most bad movies they made by this, like with this attitude, with this intention. It's like, yeah, let's try it. Let's just do it. It will be like just happen on this on its own. It will be a good movie. I believe in it. You know, no, it's never will be good by itself. To make it good, you need to do it yourself. You do it consciously, and you elaborate everything. And then, if you're lucky, there will be like something on top of it, just some lucky accident that will make it even better because you've been lucky to build amazing team of actors, like a genius actors, genius cameraman, genius uh, artists in your movie, and the soundtrack, all the stuff, right? So it's a lot of luck, but it all works out because of your professionalism and diligent work, your commitment and commitment like which goes like through decades. You'd like put your life in it. Так, let's see, show some grace. Hello KD5. Yeah, I know Peter Han, but I don't follow everything he say. I don't remember everything he say. But this idea about drawing without pencil, right? It's good for practice. So it's like you say, it forces you visualize before you draw, or it forces you to be like to more concentrate kind of on so you like more focus. You don't have like you cannot fail kind of, right? So it's make you more composed, like, oh, I can't fail. But just trying to draw without pencil every time, all the time, it's absolutely nonsense, totally nonsense. So if he means this, then it's a wrong idea. But I don't think he really means this. He just means it like exercise. Like exercise, yeah, it's great. So you have like, we have different exercises, different practice. And one of exercise is when you like, you have, like you go outside to sketch some stuff and you say like, okay, this picture I will draw without pencil. I just want to practice this ability to freehand drawing, because maybe like you have too much, you nervous too much, you fear too much of yeah, like your line is not confident, right? So by avoiding pencil you force yourself to be more confident. So it's like exercise for confidence. And maybe, yeah, maybe it's kind of give you little better like planning. But mainly I think it's just for line quality and confidence. So you will not afraid inking, no? Because it's like we always have this like fear, like, oh, I make cool penciling, and after I start inking, and it's like I'm afraid I'm not confident with my inking, right? So you can say like, okay, now I will draw without pencil at all, and I will try to make good drawing with only ink, just to teach yourself to be more confident. That's it. But uh, depends on what work you want to produce. If you want to be like very creative, create your own composition, then it's just dubious to avoid pencil. It's not smart, because pencil help you to develop your idea, develop your composition. And for me, like a best artists who have like most creative and um authentic compositions, They're all very heavy with pencil. Like they're drawing, like you look their pencil, it look like they don't know what they're doing because they're so like so messy, so dark. It's Daniel Warren Johnson, Tread Moore. Look Tread Moore if you can find like Tread Moore pencils. Like they're so heavy sometimes. Like his final inking looks super clean, like like surreal clean line art, right? But his pencil stage very messy, very dark, and I think he drew better than Peter Han. Both Daniel Warren Johnson and Tread Moore, they're like on the next level compared to Peter Han. Same also like Nine Monkey, Ryan Berry. He also like can go to Instagram, Nine Monkey. He like just yesterday I think he post uh, his process when he have drawing and then he put ink over his drawing and his pencil looks so messy. So it's like when you see these messy pencils, it doesn't mean you should be messy artist. It just means just like creative stage when you develop your idea, when you're researching, can be messy and no big deal. If we talk about like Kim Jong-il, here's again just like people like forget sometimes what they're looking at. Like, and it's okay for not artist, but as artist, you should to be aware that when Kim Jong-il draw all this stuff, like murals or some this demonstration drawings, right? There been is like some drawing of stuff he draw like 100 times, 1,000 times before. So he's kind of just demonstrates something. He's not developing idea. He's not creating something new. He's just repeating for demonstration, repeating what he already drew before, with some like slight change maybe in it. And just this kind of his drawing on the murals for public when like everybody walk around and he draws this like he show how he can draw without pencil. It's kind of how to say it's feature is one of a feature. It's like a performance because this performance looks more like staggering, like more amazing for people, like especially like for average people who don't know artist process, who don't know creative process. It look more amazing when they see he just take ink and or marker and just draw without pen. So everybody like, whoa, whoa, it's amazing, whoa. So it's just a trick for not artists. For art it should be not main, it's not main quality, it's not like what main thing we're chasing. You don't want to be just like able draw without pencil. It's stupid. What the point of this? You want to really like express your ideas and like to draw original stuff. Yeah, so I mean it's nothing bad with making performance, but it's a genre, right? It's a certain genre, like, and yeah, you push on a certain thing just to for showing off, to make people more impressed, to create certain like trend, so people will start to like sharing your work, talking about you. So, and I totally kind of like respect this skill. All this is great. It's just like different genre, like when you perform and when you create your own work, like your compositions, like a Daniel Warren Johnson. Just look at that. It's freaking insane, like what he's doing. Try to draw this stuff without pencil. It's just weird to try to do this. Like what a point. It's like what you want to prove. No reason to prove anyone, and like you only try to impress some noobs But in like professional artist circles, everybody use pencil. Your ability to draw without pencil will not impress professional circle, like professional artists. They also like, okay, nice. That's it. But your final work is more important than how uh, how you move, you're dancing, or you like use your legs when you draw, or you draw with your nose. All this is not important. Так, again, same thing here, just more exaggerated. Now buildings totally became like a pillows. Oh, maybe I should make video about this. A good idea. Come on, we'll make video like about pencil. Okay.
Madness. This is Gene Bond art.
Так. So you see, it's like same box logic here, but instead of drawing like a box with the straight lines, I draw it with like whoa, like a bulky kind of bulky box like this, like whoa. But the same have these surfaces and edges. Watch my first tutorial, like how to draw in perspective for beginners, part 1. I talking about this there. Like boxes. Just so cool. Yeah, like this image, for example, is here are so many dynamic elements. It's just physically, practically, it's impossible to have it all in your mind. You need to lay it out. You need to make some arrangement of all the stuff on the paper. So it's like creating your own work. It's like a real battle. It's like real scenario, reality check. And if you really start to create something original, you will always face this reality that you need some, or you will do it like multiply drawings to finally find the right one, from like certain attempts. Or you will be very heavy on pencil and draw a lot of mess before you finally develop proper composition. Same as like in the military or in the martial arts, they say like, yeah, you can like you training, there is a lot of stuff you can prepare yourself for. But in a reality, in real situation, always everything go crazy. You never know what happened, and everybody always like, what the hell? So all your like training for drawing like perfect lines from first attempt will always fail when you really have like creative task. When you draw just some repetitive stuff, like you just keep repeating yourself, then you can be like draw perfect. So but then it will be just like a routine, just like drawing hands again and again and stuff like this. Yeah, so realism in artwork is not like most important quality. It's only like one of tools. It's one of qualities, one of the tools. So realism help you to be clear, right? So you do it as realistic as you need for clarity. So it's like people look like healthy people or like believable people, and buildings looks like how they should be in a certain situations. So we never seen like some Superman punching buildings. So we don't have this like reference in our minds how it should absolutely properly looks like. So we have like pretty much of freedom to play around with this stuff, and creating like this illusion of force is more important in this kind of case, because you want to make this sense of force, like how they like squish. And we can like our memory, our brain, he can refer to is like, I don't know, like how you see how apples squeeze, right? Like so oh okay, so if I squeeze buildings like apples, it will be realistic. So style, kind of stylization, it's also form of realism in a way, right? Because it's like refer to our experience, like emotional or sensual experience. It's just like the stylistic elements, they refer to subconsciousness. Like without training, without knowledge, most of people, they will not recognize how like this stylistic tricks, kind of how they work on a viewer, how they create certain feelings and effects, right? But we as artists, we're learning this, and we call it composition. So style, kind of, it's just artist style. It's means like having knowledge of composition. So you really understand composition, so you can make it with your style, kind of, right? So like visually, we seeing it as a style, but like a self-development, like learning arc, it's a learning of composition. You learn composition, you understand how composition works. So this allow you to develop your style. Yeah, because composition, it is based on psychology, kind of. There is also books about this I've been reading. So you see, it's like I'm drawing different angle, different proportions, different picture framing, but it's very similar, but in the same time it's a different picture. But cannot focus. Okay. So this is how you best way to study, to practice from your favorite work. Don't follow it exactly. Так. Let's make some music here. So every this element I draw my way as like proportions different, like you see the kind of feature idea of analysis. Analysis, it's mean you understand structure, you understand hierarchy. So what is the main elements, what is secondary and tertiary, tertiary elements, kind of, right? So, and here, like you see, mm, main elements is just like what is happening, what is action, which kind of on what is elements of this action, and just involve these elements, make it clear what happened. But all these nuances, like how many splashes, like proportions of each splash, placement of each splash or crack, this is secondary, so secondary, is like mm, not in importance. Like you don't need to follow every like proportion and placement of every debris. And same when you draw everything, you need to have clear idea what is your like main goal, main task. Like it's like best example of it is like in the childhood I play game F-16, I think it's called F-16. Like there was like missions on airplane, and they always give you like uh, number one goal, number one mission, and secondary and third type of mission. So you fail if you're not make mission like first in a tier, like number one importance mission, right? So make sure you make like most important first. And then if you still have some free resources, free time, you can complete secondary and other missions. Same here, like you need to make sure like your essential part of work is done, and then play around and do whatever you like with the rest, less important stuff. This is what is mean to plan, organize. It's about hierarchy, about prioritizing. That's why you can spot professional every time, because he have very very good brains. He have like this ability to structuralize, analyze everything. You like manage distribution of your efforts. That's why I series Better Call Saul, because it's like Vince Gilligan. He kind of like have main theme in his stories about like scale of professionalism. He always have like opposing characters who is like mindless and just don't have ethic, don't have principles. He opposed to people who have some principles and very professional mindset. Because also if talking like about priorities, yeah, this is your ability to process, like to analyze. It's the most essential. So like in the core of every process. And like it's kind of essential is also is like working with the data. Because like imagine like we have life, right? Life is a certain scenario, certain situation when we have set of parameters. We have like set of elements, and you need to process these elements. You need to what does mean to process? It means create hierarchy, create like a hierarchy tree to say like, okay, how these elements related, how they related to each other and how they related to you, like to your goals, to your also hierarchy of your goals. So there is like survivor, um, career, like uh, whatever your goals like mm, let's say just like arranging your future, you know, build all this foundation. So and just everything, all decisions we make, they all base on this process of analyzing and build hierarchy tree, how things arranged in like how they interconnected. if you cannot make these connections, you cannot make right decisions. You cannot see like full picture, you don't understand logic. So I kind of realized it when I was teach children, and I was thinking like, okay, like most of my students, these like children, like 5-year-old, 8-year-old, most of them will not be artists. So it's kind of like no much sense to teach them to be like serious artists like I want to be. So I was asking myself, like, what then I should teach them? Like, what I can do for them? And I realized kind of like I can use teaching class, like um, art process, kind of creating artwork process, just as case of this systematic approach. Just gives them idea and experience of what is structural thinking, what is kind of like planning and like proper process means. Because like proper process is like when you make plan, you have goal, right? So let's say you define your goal, and then you build plan according to your goal, and then you watch your result, you compare it to your goal, like you say, like, okay, how much is it fit my expectation? Is it something what I plan to do, or is something else? And you break it down, you analyze your result, and you see like, okay, these actions bring me to success. These actions give me this result I wanted. And these actions, they're being like something wrong with them. So you can review them next time. You can exclude them or you can explore them more closely. And what is actions? Your action is like sequence, right? Like what you do, and what you do with it's a techniques and tools. So it's kind of like very cool, like very essential elements of a process is your ability to understand what you're doing. What is your actions in terms of like which techniques you apply and which tools you use. So then no matter like will they become artists or not, they already have experience of making projects, like building real stuff. And this is like first of all is like most coolest stuff about art, that is not only make us better artists, but also if you treat it properly, if you like really go far, if you dig it, then it just make you better and smarter in general. can also make tutorial sharing my ideas about how to teach children. I think maybe I need to do this. I already did some presentations about it, but this video lost with my old channel, like my old channel being hacked and erased. So I need to make it again. Okay. Scan. Some some cracks. Because, yeah, being smart in your work is kind of like super essential for being creative. Like you can see by artist work, you can see like, okay, talented, not talented, but you can tell this guy is smart, you know. You can see it because this like intellect uh, bring kind of um excellence, this like brilliance to work when you see this kind of like fineness, sharpness in the work. It's a sign of intelligence. So while you study like all these techniques, while you train your hand, muscle memory, and all this stuff, don't forget to train your brains. Chiefster. Hello, Chiefster. Yeah, I mean, like I say, it's nothing wrong with drawing without pencil. It's just like preference, like everybody do whatever they want. But it's not it's definitely not a kind of sign of a real art. It's like you don't need to be able draw without pencil to do professional work. Is absolutely not related. It's like say if you cannot draw horses, then you are not a real artist. Yeah, it will be better if you draw horses. But uh, just look at examples like how many artists doing insane work, and I'm sure they will not draw this like amazing, like anatomically correct and perfectly shaded horse. Just again, kind of look at structure, kind of, right? What is really important and what is secondary. Have like perfect line or ability to draw without pencil is not core, is not what is really important. It's a secondary. It can make your work better, but in some time you can be like uh, super technically great, but you cannot create creative work just because you have no idea how to do this. You don't understand process. You didn't practice it. You spent all time practice your lines, practice this, uh, uh, improving in your vision of like being able to draw without pencil. Yeah. This. I don't know. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so I just tell it for like artists like who, so many beginners who's like talking like I want to draw like Kim Jong-il without pencil. And it's like that's it. It's like, is this your goal? Like just to draw without pencil? Isn't it's not a job. Like a drawing without pencil is not a job. If you want like to be like comic book artist, manga artist, animator or whatever, like artist, to draw without pencil is not number one skill you need to think about. That's it. That's kind of what I mean. Так, maybe here's some shading. Also, like Jake Park. Jake Park also talking about social media, making good point that kind of this focus on producing like posts, like content, making content for viewers in the social media, in Instagram. It's also kind of trap because no, because it's like became in certain point it became performance art instead of creating like real artwork. You're just chasing reactions in the social media from random people. It's like it's not your audience, it's just some people who just browsing social media. Так, let's see. So I'm already how long? Oh, I'm already 2 hours. I have 2 more drawing. Yeah, let's keep it for a chapter, for part 2, for next video. So, next video we'll draw this. Check it out. So, here is also like a change of surface. Like this part is change of surface. And I like this mess, like how to manage this stuff, right? Because there is also perspective grid and there is a lot of mess. Like how will you draw it in perspective? And I will talk about this in the next video. Madness. Так, Chester. Земли comic book artist does demonstration all in pen, but his final pens for their yeah, like and also like one thing is when you make drawing like pencil for yourself, so you will ink it later, right? And other thing is like when you make pencil for other person, for other inker. So yeah, if you do it for other inker, you need to make your drawing more clear, more clean. So to make sure he will understand how he needs to ink. But when you make pencil for yourself, it look like a mess. Because you like usually, like I know from myself, like usually, and I see other artists do, they're not like want to establish all details. They just want to find out what they want to draw, to clarify composition. That's it. So later you draw details with ink, and you kind of keep some fun for ink stage, so it will be not boring drawing over pencil. It will be like also some creative process there. Okay. So see you next video, part 2, about Yusuke Murata.
Madness. This is Jane Bond Art.